Hey guys, Lancer here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks again for joining me while we review some more reserve list cards. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first card is Mangaras Tomb. Mangaras Tomb is an artifact. When Mangaras Tomb enters the battlefield, search your library for 5 cards, exile them in a face-down pile, then shuffle that pile. Then shuffle your library. Pay 2. The next time you draw a card this turn, instead put the top card of your exiled pile into its owner's hand. This feels really good. This feels really good. Is there any way for them to interact with this effect? If they destroy this artifact, will you lose all of the cards that you've just exiled this way? You pretty much need an draw effect and enough mana to try to put this to use so that your opponents cannot destroy your artifact while you're looking for the 5 best cards in your entire deck. It felt better before I just said that. That actually makes it kind of a trap. It's a trap. I should really put that up there. But for $4.29 on TCG from Mirage, I think it's a good card. But the problem is you can really play yourself hard. If you have 5 cards in your deck, and that's to make your entire deck work, you're going to lose a lot if they destroy this artifact before you can get the value out of it. So I'd say be careful with a card like this, but then again, how you use it is up to you. It's a bit expensive and it is spiking like crazy. But what's new about that? Next card. Whoa, buff. Marauders of Kel. Marauders of Kel, sorry. Weatherlight. 4 colorless, 2 red. Moving on. Legendary creature, perfect. Human warrior also sounds good. Marauders of Kel's power and toughness are each equal to the number of untapped artifacts, creatures, and lands you control. That sounds really good. It says lands. This is actually better than some other cards that just say lands. This feels pretty powerful to me, since especially artifacts don't normally tap if they're equipments. Which means that you could play a Tron commander that doesn't need buffs to his card. He just needs protection, which actually can remove a lot of artifacts from your list and can make it pretty streamlined. Sorry if I'm talking really quietly. I think this card is good. For $1.89 TCG, he's a commander. He works well in an equipment Voltron deck. You need to give him some protection, but he will buff himself up for nothing. You give him some equipments, some really cheap ones. You have 6 lands, you have 6 equipments. This guy is a 12/12 with all the benefits of all the equipments you just chucked on him. The only problem is that he hasn't got white, which is one of the most equipment-focused colors out there. He is also moving up pretty fast, but I actually think this guy was actually worth the 91 cents he was before, and he might still be worth the $1.89 that he is now. He's funky, cool, gimmicky commander, very buff. I like it. Not like that. Musician, Ice Age, 2 colorless, 1 blue. It is a human wizard which is 1/3. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Lack of sleep. Cumulative upkeep, pay 1. Ugh. Age counter. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on this permanent, then sacrifice it unless you pay its upkeep cost for each age counter on it. Tap. Put a music counter on target creature. If it doesn't have, at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy this creature unless you pay 1 for each music counter on it. It gains that ability. So you can keep making a card an opponent has more and more costly. Like, is it because it turns into musician and it's just super annoying? Is it like a scene from Monty Python where you had to like take out your musicians because they're just annoying and not actually helpful in your party? I feel like it's a really slow card and it costs you a lot as well. But let me know if there's a way to break this. This feels breakable. It also feels annoying and fun. It's a weird combination. Mystic Might, Ice Age, 1 blue, enchant land. Enchant land you control. Cumulative upkeep, pay 1 colorless, 1 blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on this permanent, then sacrifice it unless you pay its cost for each age counter on it. Enchanted land has tap, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Nah, not worth it in my eyes. 32 cents on TCG, of course. Don't look at that. I don't think it's a good card. I think it sounds like a massive pain. Just doesn't seem like the maths adds up for this. Next. Nature's Wrath, Alliance, 4 colorless, 2 green, 4/8 enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Nature's Wrath unless you pay green. They really liked these upkeeps and cumulative upkeeps and all that, didn't they? Because you're barely playing your deck at some point. You're pretty much just trying to keep these things alive on the field. That makes sense. You're pretty much, that's how it works for most things you try to keep around in the real world, doesn't it? Whenever a player puts a island or blue permanent onto the battlefield, he or she sacrifices an island or blue permanent. Whenever a player puts a swamp or a black permanent onto the battlefield, he or she sacrifices a swamp or a black permanent. Very annoying card. $2. Sparking. This one actually has some pretty cool art, but I think it's a very, very painful card. You play it against the right decks, they will tilt before the game gets very far. Especially if you read the card out. Next card. Null Chamber, 3 colorless, 1 white. World Enchantment. As Null Chamber enters the battlefield, you and your opponents each name a card other than a basic land. The named card cannot be played. This is not a bad commander card at all. I mean, it's a balanced effect, so they get something that you get. But if they're playing a combo deck and you're playing a creature deck, then, combo decks, we all hate combo decks, right? No. It's just that, you can name their key piece in that deck and they're probably going to never play against you again. So I feel like this is a good card. For 4 mana, that's the only problem, but the problem is it's also not really very cheap right now. It's $2 on TCG, but it is moving up fast. I don't think it's a bad card, but you guys can let me know. Next card. Omen of Fire. Omen of Fire, 3 colorless, 2 red. I'm getting really confused about what's going on there. Got the sword, he's got the meteorite on the back, the lava. She's got all of those. So what's she doing? Return all islands to their owner's land. Return all islands to their owner's hand. Each player sacrifices a plains or a white permanent for each white permanent he or she controls. So this hates on blue and white. There's a lot of hate. $3.79 on TCG. I feel like this is, oh my god. It's really peaking, but I feel like this is once again just a very annoying card that you might play in CEDH or just annoy your friends. But on my side, I like to continue the game going, so that kind of stuff really slows it down. Opal Archangel. Urza Saga for a 4 colorless, 1 white enchantment. When an opponent casts a creature spell, if Opal Archangel is an enchantment, Opal Archangel becomes a 5/5 angel creature with flying and vigilance. This card is good. I see no reason why it's 50 cents on TCG. There is no downside risk. They're going to have to play a creature at some point. It's 3 other opponents on average. So it's a 5 mana, 5/5 flying with vigilance with the angel key text as well. It can't be removed until someone plays a creature, which means it can at least survive for that one player's turn unless they play like a 1/1. I feel like this is a good card. Yeah, I don't know, guys. You let me know. I can drink some water, but I'll do that later. Yeah, you guys let me know because I feel like this is an okay to a good card for its price, especially. Ferexia Marauder from Visions. X. It's a 0/0 artifact creature. Phyrexian Marauder comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it. Phyrexian Marauder cannot block. Phyrexian Marauder cannot attack unless you pay 1 for each +1/+1 counter on it. Oh, no. That's a really expensive way to keep a card that's got X. Don't we have like that stone snake or whatever? That's just X mana with like huge amounts of keywords and everything. And it comes in with +1/+1 counters as well. That's so much better than this. So I don't really know what the benefit of a card like this is. It's $1.37. I'm pretty sure that other one is like $5 and is way better. You guys can let me know, but I'm pretty sure there's a card that already exists that does something similar to this, and it came out very recently, and I'm pretty sure it's not that expensive anymore. So the art's kind of creepy, but other than that, I just can't think of any good reasons to use this card, even for a +1/+1 countersink. Move the counters from this, buff its counters. It just can't do anything for ages. And last card, Ferexia Negator. I think this is reserved, as far as I can tell. It popped up, yeah, it says reserve list. It looks pretty new, but Urza's Destiny, Judge promo. Ooh, fancy. Okay, so that's what it's meant to look like. Cool. Looks like a Jinn because it's got all the jewelry and stuff. This one looks way more animalistic. Animals. Ferexia Negator is a 5/5 horror for 2 colorless, 1 black. It has trample. Whenever Ferexia Negator is dealt damage, sacrifice that many permanents. Yeah. I don't know why you'd want to do that in Commander, but it's just like a tilting. Like someone just deals 2 damage with a shock, and you lose 2 permanents. Even if you get this out on turn 3, that's like the worst time to lose 2 permanents because you're not going to have much out there. It does say sacrifice, which means you get to choose which ones go, but I just don't think that this is a good card. It's $20 on TCG, but I feel like that might be because it's a special version of it. These ones are $2 or something. $6 from Urza's Destiny. That might be a reason. Like Urza's Destiny sounds like it might be a bit rarer than some of these other ones. It peaked a few times in the past, but it does look like it's coming back. Whoa. Market foil is $152 for the peaks, probably near mint. Then, okay, foils are always going to be more expensive, especially these rare ones. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it there. Please like and subscribe if you think this is good, cool, fun, whatever you think. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. See ya.